What is up, gang? It is I, Carlton Flowers, your crypto pro.
Yay!
And tonight we have got to catch up on the action with Kaspa. It's been several days, almost a week, since we have done an update. And boy, oh boy, do we have a lot to talk about. So to begin with, let me remind you that this is not financial advice. Anything I say or do can and will be held against your bank account. And you could end up living in a box by the side of a river on government cheese. So with that, we are on the 4-hour chart. And the last time we did a few updates, we've always had the nasty little sarcastic people, the snotty little anti-TA people that have to come in and say, you can't do TA on Kaspa. And so now, I already crushed that in the last video, but now we have even more evidence that TA works on Kaspa as we enjoy this breakout from the upward trending new trading channel. And after we reached this bottom point here, we turned around, and after this breakout, I thought we were going to go back down to the red trend line, but we established a new baseline. And this is where the pivot was in. When we touched it not once, but twice, I thought, all right, swing channel change. And when that happened, that's when I quickly bought my biggest bag of Kaspa right there. I think I got filled at 0.001591 to be exact, and took my total. My total Kaspa count is at 100,000. All right, so I'm not some huge whale or anything like that. I just buy a little bit what I can afford. And then we were doing what? But bouncing on this blue trend line that we established. Now, this was the point here where it was a confirmation of a change in trend. Because after the first and the second bounce, we did respect the upper boundary of the previous downward trending trading channel. But then once we bounced here and then the last bounce of support, we broke through it. And after that, we started this new trend here with this is our baseline that was already on here. And then you could do something like, I don't know, you could connect these, which it magically kind of matches up and ends up where the breakout is. Isn't it interesting? Kind of neat how that stuff works out. Connect these little dots here on this upward trending trading channel. And then the consolidation that happened upstairs right here. I was thinking that this was a bull flag on the 1 hour, and sure enough, it was. We broke the heck out of that, and it was a strong move. Now, let's clear this out and scrunch this down so we can see what the high point was. The high point of that breakout was 0.00329. So it looks like I've almost doubled from that trade down here that I purchased at 0.001591. And I'm considering very soon of selling a bag or selling it all and waiting and getting it all back down again at the bottom. I might cash it in, grab a double, and then consolidate and do this trick again. And here's the reason why. Right now, we have a rather bullish looking stochastic. See this crossover that's occurred, and we got the fast line above the slow line. Not to say that this can't unfurl and reject, like it could curl over and continue down, but right now it's pointing upwards. Okay, combined with an MACD that the oscillators are very divergent. Look how the fast line is so far away from the slow line, the orange one. Okay, you see that, and then you notice how it's on an increasing angle of inclination, and also notice how we're still printing dark green candles on the histogram. See that? So this is a very bullish move. And from this low point, we're just trending up. All right. And so that's kind of nice there here on the 4-hour chart. So the combination of those things tells me that we'll probably move up into price discovery as far as the chart here on TradingView, because we don't have the prior history. Now, I did go over that when I talked about what I did here, where I plotted a bunch of points from history. And I also extended some lines of prior support and resistance. You see them here. There's one, here is a second, and there's a third. And you notice how we had action along those lines from previous support and resistance from the past. See how we were bouncing in there? And then we broke through here, it came down support, and we blew off of that. Now, what could be happening is a consolidation, and it depends on what happens tomorrow with the Fed announcement. But for right now, if we don't crash the market on November 2nd, we've got a bull flag. And so if we take the flagpole and we bring it out here and break it out, we could be possibly looking at, what, 0.004 is a possible target price. I don't know. We'd have to scrunch that down. I got not enough on the vertical side here. There we go. So if we brought that pole here, it could maybe 0.003738, somewhere around there. If the market doesn't tank tomorrow, if we don't have an adverse reaction from the announcement of a 75 basis point rate hike, which is more than likely what's going to happen. Now let's jump this to the one-day chart real quick so I can show you something. And this has my prior history on it that I plotted. It took me forever. It took me hours to do this, to get that line. Now, we noticed that on the one-day chart, we're looking pretty good because we also have a very bullish stochastic. Look at this divergence that's happening between the slow line, the orange, and the fast line, the blue. And we're pointing straight up. And we also have a smidgen of an MACD fast line right here that is pointing straight up. And we have a lot of volume buying going on. Look at this green candle here. Now, the thick of the volume profile, the VPVR, is right here in this range that goes up to the current price. But we won't have any idea of where the clusters are above that because all we have on the TradingView chart is that range. All the stuff that happens up here is not on the chart. So there very well could be another big cluster. I would assume that if we had to draw it on here, it would look something like this. Okay, we probably have another VPVR cluster that sits up here. Maybe it looks like this is a terrible drawing. Okay, and what would normally happen is you jump. We're like in a slip zone right now, which is the area where there's not much trading history, which is right here. And you usually rip through the slip zone and find the next volume node, which would be somewhere up here. If it happens that way, there's no guarantee. Now, what are the other possibilities? Let's see here. Let's kind of zoom in. And I'm so glad that I've got this prior history that we plotted on here. It really helps. Because we can look and see if there's a possibility that there could be a resistance hiding in here. And there very well could be. So if we drew a line, we've got two wicks that go through this line here. But we do see some prior history where there's a little action along a line there, where this could possibly be a topping point at which a pivot could occur that we go downstairs and maybe refine this trading channel here. But then again, that might not be a resistance. It might continue upward until we get into the prior range of where we were trading in this previous action that happened when we blew out of the doldrums and had that 1,000% gain. I wish I owned it way back here at the 0.0008 level. That would have been nice, but you can't catch them all. You got to do the best that you can. So let's clear that and jump back down to the 4-hour chart. Let's blow this up a little bit. Let's even see what the 1 hour looks like. The 1 hour is still blowing up. We're in the overbought, almost in the overbought zone. And with a very belligerent looking MACD. Look at this oscillator, man. This is crazy. It's wanting to go down and it just jumps up again. This is a very bullish run. And there is a big divergence between this 200 EMA and the 50 EMA. All right. You had a crossover. Let's see. Where is the crossover? It's hard to see on this chart. It's way back here. Here it is right there. There's your crossover, which makes all of this a bullish time period. And so if we turn around and go the other way, this 50 is going to curl down and cross over the blue one, which makes a death cross. You can't really call it a death cross on a 1 hour chart, but that's the hypothesis, is that the right word? Is when this cross is over, you're going to have a downward trending trading channel from that point. Now here on the 4 hour chart, we can see a double cross, okay, where we crossed over bearish here, but then it turned right around, and after the breakout, it crossed over bullish right there. All right, and previous to that, the 50 has been, is the 200 even on here? No, that's a rising trend line. Okay, forget that. Throw that out the window. I thought this was a 200 EMA, but it does not post on the 4 hour chart yet because there's not enough data, enough history to make a 200-day exponential moving average. We only have the 50. But another point I would mention on the TA here, notice how we had been bouncing off of that 50, where it went from resistance. Let's count how many times that it went underneath the 50 EMA, tanking after touching that line. And then finally, here's where it flipped from resistance to support. Now, we did blow through it here, but we bounced on the upward trending trading channel baseline. And we went back and forth, but it's pretty much support all throughout here. And now we launched off of it like a bottle rocket. It just took a rocket ship off of the 50 EMA. That is just incredible to see that. Such a strong move in a bear market. So at any rate, we'll watch that 50 EMA and see if we continue on upward, if we float back down to catch that EMA line. Only time will tell. And if we make it any higher than, say, some of these previous points, if we make it up above 004 or so, I'm going to have to sell at least half of my bag and wait for a correction, because I'm not very confident that the bear market is over, and I'm not very confident about what's going to happen to Bitcoin and alts after the Fed makes its announcement tomorrow. So that's about all I have for now. Thank you for watching, and I would love it if you would like, comment, and subscribe to the Crypto Pro channel. And if you would like to support the channel, you may do so by donating with a super thanks to help me defray the cost of producing these videos for you. That's all I've got for now. I'll be back tomorrow with another report, because we need to see what happens to our beloved Kaspa after that Fed announcement takes place. See y'all.